In the pale, dusty dawn of Texas, 20-year-old Airman Tyler Brooks bent down and tightened his boots. Ahead of him stretched another 10-mile walk to Lackland Air Force Base. He wasn't late. He simply didn't own a car every morning long. Before the bugle sounded, Tyler walked the shoulder of the road, alone, head steady, backpack snug, footsteps measured. Cars passed him sometimes. Fellow airmen offered rides now and then. Tyler always answered with a polite wave and a quiet no. He didn't want pity, raised by his grandfather, a Vietnam veteran who believed that character was built mile by mile. Tyler treated the walk as a ritual, discipline, purpose, proof that he could carry his own weight. As he passed the same convenience store he passed every morning, the old clerk nodded knowingly. 10 miles again, son? Yes, sir, Tyler replied, adjusting his strap. Gotta get there somehow. Inside the store, a television murmured with a live broadcast. President Donald Trump was visiting Lackland Air Force Base that day to speak to new recruits. Tyler glanced briefly at the screen, then continued down the road, unaware that this ordinary morning was anything but miles away. Preparations for the president's arrival buzzed with urgency. Security teams moved in tight formation. Cameras were tested. Commanders reviewed schedules. As the armored motorcade rolled toward the base, Trump sat beside his military advisor, General McAdams. He looked out the window and noticed a lone figure, walking along the highway, shoulder head down, pace unwavering. That kid military? Trump asked, pointing. Could be, the general replied. They wear civvies off duty sometimes. Trump watched as the car passed him, no vehicle nearby. No hesitation in his stride. He looks like he's on a mission, Trump said quietly. Find out who he is. Tyler kept walking, unaware that the most powerful man in the country had just taken notice of his silent determination. By the time the president arrived at Lackland, the answer was waiting. Airman First Class Tyler Brooks, an aide reported. 20 years old, walks 10 miles to work every day. Why? Trump asked. No car, can't afford one. Refuses the base shuttle, says he doesn't want special treatment. Trump flipped through the file. Orphaned at 14. Raised by his grandfather in rural Arkansas, straight a student. Enlisted immediately after high school. Get me his commanding officer. Colonel Hayes stood at attention moments later. Airman Brooks is one of our best, never complains. Never late. We didn't even realize he was walking that far until recently. Trump nodded. I want to meet him, but don't tell him. I want to see who he is when no one's watching. The next morning, Tyler laced his boots as always. News of the president's visit had spread across the base, but Tyler paid it no mind. Duty came first. His grandfather's dog tags rested against his chest beneath his shirt. Work hard in silence, the old man used to say. Let your actions speak. As Tyler passed the convenience store again, the clerk grinned. President drove by? Yesterday. Yeah, Tyler said with a faint smile. I heard. You think he saw you? Tyler shook his head. Doubt it. He reached the base gate early that morning when a transport vehicle pulled up beside him. You Airman Brooks? The driver asked. Yes, sir. Hop in. You're wanted at Hangar 4. The hangar was unusually quiet. Tyler stepped inside, boots echoing on the concrete floor. Moments later, the massive doors opened again. Secret Service agents entered first. Then President Donald Trump. Tyler snapped to attention. At ease, son, Trump said. I saw you walking yesterday. Yes, sir. 10 miles? Yes, sir. Why? Tyler hesitated, then answered honestly. I don't like handouts. My grandfather always said if you've got 2 legs, you can carry yourself. Trump studied him for a moment, then smiled. You didn't do it for recognition? No, sir. I did it because I signed up to serve. Trump placed a hand on Tyler's shoulder. Then I think it's time someone walked a few miles for you. The hangar doors opened once more. A brand-new black Ford F-150 rolled inside, lights gleaming against the steel walls. This is yours, Trump said. Tyler stared, stunned. Sir, I can't. You didn't ask for anything, Trump interrupted. That's why you deserve it. The paperwork was done. Insurance covered. Fuel card included. No strings attached. Later that day, Tyler sat behind the wheel, hands resting on the steering wheel like it was something sacred. As he drove home, the road he had walked for months slipped past him in a blur. Every crack, every mile remembered. At the convenience store, the old clerk tipped his cap. Tyler honked once and laughed. By morning, the story had gone viral. News headlines, social media. Praise from strangers, but the most powerful moment came quietly. An envelope arrived at the base. Inside, a shaky, handwritten letter from a woman in a nursing home. "I'm so sorry, son. I've been clean 4 years. I saw you on TV. You look just like your father." Tyler folded the letter carefully and placed it in his locker. Sometimes the road we walk doesn't just carry us forward. Sometimes it brings us home. Later that week, Colonel Hayes summoned Tyler to his office. "Coffee?" Hayes asked, gesturing to a fresh pot. "Yes, sir." They sat in companionable silence for a moment before the colonel leaned back in his chair. "You've handled all this attention well. I'm proud of you." "Thank you, sir." Hayes studied him carefully. "You've been thinking about that letter, haven't you?" Tyler blinked. "How did you—" "I served with your grandfather," Hayes said gently. "We talked often. He worried you'd carry your mother's silence like a wound." Tyler said nothing. "Forgiveness," Hayes continued, "is harder than any 10-mile walk. But it frees you more than any truck ever could." The words settled deep. Tyler nodded slowly. "Take a few days," Hayes said. "Go see her if you're ready." That night, Tyler drove instead of walking. But the journey ahead wasn't measured in miles. It was measured in courage. Willow Pines Recovery Center sat quiet beneath the evening sky beige siding, simple flower beds, an American flag waving gently out front. Tyler stayed in his truck for a moment, hands tight on the wheel, heart pounding. Seeing his mother again after more than a decade felt unreal. Terrifying inside, a nurse greeted him with a soft smile. "You must be Tyler. She's been talking about this all week." The hallway walls were lined with artwork and photographs, faces caught mid-laughter, moments of hope frozen in time. They stopped at a door. "She's in here." Tyler pushed it open. A frail woman sat by the window in a wheelchair, hands folded in her lap. When she turned and saw him, she gasped, "Tyler." He barely recognized her except for her eyes. Those were the same eyes that once watched over him at night. Double quotes, "Hi, Mom." Her lips trembled. "I didn't know if you'd come." They sat in silence, years of absence filling the room. Finally, Tyler spoke. "Why now? I was afraid," she said. "Then I saw you on TV and I couldn't stay silent anymore." She reached for his hand. "I'm proud of you, and I'm so sorry." Tyler didn't pull away. His voice cracked. "I'm still angry. But I want to understand." She nodded through tears. "Sometimes healing doesn't start with answers. It starts with being here." He stayed longer than he meant to. Silence softened into conversation. She spoke of addiction, of grief after his father's death, of watching his life from afar. He spoke of airplanes, his grandfather, the weight he carried. "I still have your toy jet," she said softly. "Your grandfather sent it to me one Christmas." Tyler laughed and cried at once. When he stood to leave, he hesitated. "Can I come back?" She looked like she'd been given breath. "Please." Outside, Tyler leaned against his truck, breathing deeply. Nothing was fixed. But something had begun. Days later, an unfamiliar number flashed on his phone. "Airman." "Brooks, this is President Trump." Tyler straightened instinctively. "I heard you visited your mother," Trump said. "That took more courage than anything we did at that base." Tyler blinked. "Sir, how did you know?" "Some stories travel," Trump said, "and some deserve to." He paused. "You're not just serving your country. You're healing a family." Before hanging up, Trump added quietly, "Never forget real strength is quiet." A month later, Tyler attended a graduation ceremony to support his friend Carter. As Carter crossed the stage, his eyes searched the audience and found someone unexpected. President Trump sat beside an empty chair, no cameras. No announcement. Later, Tyler asked why he came. Trump smiled. "Some people show up even when it's hard. Thought I'd try that." That same week, Trump's foundation quietly announced a new grant. Miles for service transportation support for service members struggling to commute. Tyler read the article and smiled. That night he wrote one sentence in his journal. A single step, when noticed, can pave a road for others. Weeks passed. Letters arrived, stories spread. Tyler kept serving. Then came another summons. This time, a ceremony, standing before his peers, Tyler received the Presidential Medal of Quiet Valor, created to honor service members whose off-duty actions inspired. National change? You showed America that strength isn't always loud, Trump said as he placed the medal. Sometimes it's lacing your boots and walking forward, especially when no one is watching. Tyler's eyes found his mother in the crowd, tears shining. Afterward, Trump leaned in. You didn't just change policy, you changed hearts. Months. Later, a bench was installed near the base gate right where gravel met pavement. A small plaque honored every quiet walker who chose duty over ease. Tyler sat there one morning, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise. He placed the old toy jet beside him and smiled. On the anniversary of his first walk, Tyler rose early and laced his boots once more. He walked the old route not because he had to, but because it mattered. At the base gate, a young recruit saluted. You're the reason I joined, sir. Tyler smiled. Then keep walking, even when it's hard. Because some walks change a day, and some change the world.